Hey everybody, Motorpoet 59 here. Just want to do a quick thing on oil here. I keep seeing people posting on Facebook and other social media outlets, and they're just giddy because gas prices are so low. That's bad for the American economy. Cheap gas is bad for America. You might be able to go buy more of it, but right now, one of the reasons that it is so cheap is because no one's buying it. And we have these tankers full of oil and gasoline already refined sitting in harbors and unloading facilities, and we have tank farms, storage facilities full of gasoline that isn't being used. That's one of the reasons it's so cheap. OPEC understands the problem, and they are causing this glut on purpose. They want the prices to be driven down, and these prices will remain down as long as this gas is available, as long as this oil is available. It won't go back up until the next batch of oil that they have to pay regular prices for, and the price of oil will go back up. If we were producing our own oil and refining our own gas domestically, these prices would be awesome. This would be really cool. We'd have drilling rigs going 24/7 and a lot of people that have jobs. But every time gas gets cheap, we lose thousands of jobs in the oil field. So think about that next time you're sitting at a pump and getting on Facebook and saying yay to the world because you only had to pay $1 for gas. That doesn't go for we people in California because it's never going to be that cheap here. We pay over $1 a gallon gas just in taxes. But back to the oil problem just in general. I worked for the railroad from the time I was 19 till the time I was 60. And prior to having gone to work for the railroad, after I got out of high school, and I had jobs in high school too, but after I got out of school, I went to work in the oil field, in Bakersfield, doing various things, and then I got a job, learned how to drive trucks, got my Class 1 license, and hauled oil field freight around, and did that for a while. Then I went to work on an oil drilling rig before eventually going to work for the railroad. And when I got laid off in September of 1980, I went to Bakersfield and drove trucks in the oil field, hauled oil field freight, and did that for a while. And then I ran backhoes out on an oil field lease until I got called back to go to work. So, and I come from an oil family. My dad's an oil guy. My mom's dad, granddad, he was an oil guy, and I spent a lot of time around oil people. So I have a pretty firm grasp on how the oil field works. Ever since I can remember, the liberals have been trying to stop oil production in California. And today it's gone beyond just trying to stop oil production. It's to the point of trying to stop oil, period. These people truly believe that they can replace fossil fuels, petroleum products, with renewable energy. They can't. I'll link a couple of the videos I did about wind and solar in the description below. But renewable energy is not going to take the place of anything. It's like they don't understand the diversity of oil. Maybe some of them do. Maybe some of them really don't. I don't know. Maybe they don't realize that their Prius or their Tesla or the $5,000 road bicycle they have wouldn't exist without petroleum products. The petrochemical industry along the Gulf Coast is immense and is where a great deal of the oil that we do produce in America goes. They don't realize the impact losing the oil industry would truly have on the United States. Most full-blown environmentalists are somewhat wealthy, or at least aren't struggling to pay bills. They would be should the oil industry collapse. They really would be in the same boat as the people who worked in the oil fields. The difference is, well, when they spoke up about why they were where they are, they probably get their ass kicked by somebody standing behind them in the unemployment line that lost his job in the oil fields due to the policies they wanted to see enacted. And then those people, as they do usually, would find the climate in California untenable and would move somewhere else, like they're doing right now, places like Texas and Idaho that were formerly conservative states right down the line. Those things are changing. Those states are already kind of becoming like California, where the biggest pieces of them are becoming, or I should say the most populated pieces of them are becoming very, very liberal, if not full-fledged progressive. And those states are losing their identity as conservative strongholds. But anyway, we can't live without oil or something to replace it. And I'm not talking about just driving cars. I'm talking about plastics, all synthetic things that we use. It's all tied to the oil industry. And I just don't think most people notice it. I don't know what we would use to continue to create certain synthetic things that are based in the petroleum industry, but I'm sure our scientists could come up with it. Without fossil fuel manufacturing processes, nothing's going to, there'll be no Priuses, there'll be no Teslas, there'll be none of that. It's like I said, your bicycles that you guys like to flaunt, they'd be gone too. You might be able to keep that raggedy ass, smelly ass hemp clothing some of you people wear, but I don't even know about that. I don't know what the answer is, but I know what the answer isn't, and the answer isn't to stop drilling. The answer isn't to stop producing. There's so much oil left in this part of the world, but you seem to not want to do it. And I don't know if that's because you really believe it. I think that maybe there are some people out there who really believe in that cause. But most of you, I think, have just been convinced and told that this is how you should feel, so that's how you feel. You don't understand anything about the oil industry and its effect on the American or the global economy. And because I guarantee you, this is not a global thing. We would be standing alone without oil. The rest of the world isn't so stupid as to involve themselves in something so foolhardy. But anyway, the next time you're putting on a pair of tennis shoes, or your wife's putting on a pair of stockings, or you, if that's your thing, next time you're doing that, remember, those don't exist without oil. Nothing that you touch in your daily life exists without oil, not even the organic kale that you eat, because they didn't pull that from wherever they grew it to wherever they're selling it in a rickshaw. And even then, the rickshaw was probably made with oil. Think about that. Like, share, and subscribe. Click on the bell if you want to be notified of future content. We'll see you all later.